I will be sharing my screen right now. It is. We will start with the tickets that have already been done, then go to the ones in code review, the one in progress, and those that are ready for work. The first ticket is OCL-OpenMRS 13, which is linked to OCL-OpenMRS 14. All that we're dealing with the README file that is on GitHub, because basically it was the first sprint, and most of what we were doing was setting up the project and devising ways on how the product will run on different platforms. The current README on our product looks like this. We thought as a team that it was good to come up with something standard. That is, we are building a product for OpenMRS, and therefore the OpenMRS logo should be the one capturing the eyes of the contributors, since this product is entirely based on the OpenMRS platform. And so yeah, we did integrate the coveralls and the Travis on our README file, and we gave a detailed explanation of the installation process for any developer who is willing to contribute to the product. We also gave a detailed explanation on how to run the tests as a new developer and as a contributor, and also if you want to get any support either from the wiki or from the OpenMRS talk. And that was basically the first task that we set out to do on the README file. Does anybody have any questions on that? I'll move on to the second ticket, which was the user dashboard. That is for both login and dictionary management. After a user is successfully logged in, they are supposed to get this dashboard where everything will happen. That is where somebody can be able to add their concept dictionaries and basically do all their management tasks, just as like in the traditional OCL, but this time round specifically curated for OpenMRS. And I'll go right to the demo. That is this. This is the screen that you first find after the user is logged in. So we have the OCL for OpenMRS logo on this other side. On this other side, it just has your username, and basically we will have different buttons on your left side, and we'll keep on changing them according to the feedback that we receive from the community. Does anybody have questions about that? So we'll move on to the next ticket, which is OCL-OpenMRS 10, which basically we were integrating Travis, and this was all a subtask of the project initialization. Basically, we are using Travis to run our tests, and as I had earlier on demonstrated, we did integrate Travis, and so that we can be able to see when the builds are passing and when the builds are failing, and knowing when to rectify when when we have something that requires our attention. On the next ticket, which was OCL-OpenMRS 6, it was basically the design work for the login. And this is the first screen that the user finds when they visit the OpenMRS OCL. And basically all that we had to do was, let me just quickly sign in. I just open an incognito window. When signing in, we designed a model where a user has to enter their username and their API token. Reason being, because currently we do not have endpoints that do support login, and therefore we devised a way whereby you log into the traditional OCL, since we want this platform to be the first features to be fast for early adopters as we keep on improving the current endpoints. And therefore for early adopters, we just took the username and the API token that you obtain when you log into your traditional OCL. After doing this is when you first find the dashboard page, as I had earlier on demonstrated. Anybody with any question about that? The next task was OCL-OpenMRS 7, which basically was the implementation of the login logic, and that is the backend that enables a user to be able to successfully log in. That is the API calls and basically all the logic that is involved that was placed under the ticket OCL-OpenMRS 7. OCL-OpenMRS 8 was also a subtask of the ticket, which involved basically testing the code that runs for the login logic. The next ticket is OCL-OpenMRS 11. And it is linked to both OCL-OpenMRS 14 and OCL-OpenMRS 13, which basically was the modification of the README to ensure that a user who comes to the platform can be able to comfortably understand the setup process. And the goal was to make it as simple as possible so that you can be able to run the application even on your machine without prior knowledge of OpenMRS OCL client. And in that we demonstrated the process from the cloning to the installation of the dependencies that you require to running the test, and how basically you should be able to effortlessly set up your application and be able to run in on your machine locally. The next task that I'll currently demo are the OCL-OpenMRS 3, which is the creation of a new implementation dictionary. And basically this was the major task for this sprint, because well, all those other tasks were setup tasks, but this was the major task. It's still in progress, it's not yet complete, but for what has already been done, we've been able to integrate we've been able to implement the front end for adding a dictionary, but it's still in iteration, so it's subject to change. So on your left side, you have a dictionary you have a button to add a dictionary, which then prompts you to select a source according to the first MVP that you expect. The first source should be CIL, then other sources shall be added later. Then you can be able to select your language and the visibility if your concept dictionary should either be private for your organization or be public for everybody else to view. You can then be able to add your dictionary name to specify an owner, whether it should be an organization or it should be an individual. Then you can put your shortcode and your description, then click and add to the dictionary. This should be able to successfully add your concept dictionary, and you can later be able to view them. This is still under development and it's not yet done. We are hoping that by the next sprint, this feature should be done. The next ticket is the authentication, that is the sign up. So before I move on to the next feature, anybody who has questions about the creation of the concept dictionary implementation?
I have a question. This is Mohit here.
Yes.
On this screen, in the short code, what does this short code mean? It is a short form for your dictionary name, or?
Basically, thank you for your question, Muhitia. Basically, in the traditional OCL, while making a request to the backend, the shortcode is a unique code that identifies a particular concept dictionary. It's not a primary key or anything, but it's just a unique code that is able to identify other. It's able to identify each and every specific concept dictionary.
So that, okay. Yeah, go on.
Yeah.
So this shortcode will be set by the person who creates this dictionary, or when I say add dictionary, your code is automatically assigned to it?
The shortcode is created by the person who creates the dictionary.
Okay, okay.
I would suggest, clearly we need a little bit of like a tooltip or some sort of help descriptor to describe what the shortcode is supposed to be in this UI. I think in the mockup I'd even said, like, had something that should update based on your shortcode saying, like, your dictionary will be available at this URL.
All right.
But it definitely needs some description because it wouldn't be clear to someone what a shortcode is.
Sure.
I know this is still in progress, but owner should be a drop-down.
Yeah, I actually realized that. So
I guess I would, as a minor like UI sort of comment, it's not totally obvious why some things go side to side and some things go top to bottom. Sort of like the preferred sources, the default language, the visibility up there, like the flow is a little non-obvious. So I mean, it's probably just to be consistent about how things flow, whether it's side to side, top to bottom.
All right. I'll assume there are no more questions. Thank you for your feedback and for your questions. The last ticket that we had for this sprint was OCL-OpenMRS 1, which was the authentication and sign up implementation. But for now, we opted not to carry out the task, since our user can be able to sign up with the traditional OCL and still be able to log in. They also can be able to reset their password through the traditional OCL, because basically we are using the same endpoints. So we thought of it as being considered for a totally different sprint. For the tasks that will be carrying on to the next sprint are the OCL-OpenMRS 3 and a sprint that probably not the next one, but some sprint to be done in the future. That is OCL-OpenMRS 1, when we have a fully running application for OpenMRS, and we hope that will be done. For the next thing, I'd want to take feedback about basically how the demo has been. That is what we were able to achieve. What you people think we could have done better, and how we could improve on this product.
Sorry, I was not able to see the screen share until recently. Do you mind showing again the screen of like the landing page when one logs in, or like the login screen and then the landing page? I was listening, but I couldn't see the screen share until just now.
All right.
You are not screen sharing anymore, depending on if you're going there or not.
This is how the dashboard looks like. Immediately a user logs in, this is what immediately they land to the platform. This is how it looks like. But we are on the next sprint, we'll be able to add content for the landing page. But basically they are able to sign in with the username and with the API token that they receive from the traditional OCL.
Sure. So something I wanted to suggest is, and I know this is not the way that some of the other Andela teams that are working on have been approaching things, but so we should build this with the spirit of sort of continuous delivery in mind, and the spirit, sort of a little bit more the spirit of Agile as well. But for example, if you go back to that login screen with the login pop-up, so at any point, any link that exists in this demo should be a functional one. If something has been pushed off to a later sprint, it should not have like a link in the UI that we know doesn't work, but like someone coming to this as a user wouldn't know that. So for example, the not a need an account sign up button, we shouldn't have that. Like I don't want to see that. I want to see, I would want to see nothing there, or else a link that says to sign up, go to traditional OCL and has a link there.
Actually,
does that make sense?
Actually, the sign up button links to the traditional OCL.
Perfect.
Yeah, it does actually link to the traditional OCL.
Oh, create account.
Okay. Yeah, like it links to the traditional OCL. We did consider that, and that is the same for the password reset.
Okay, no, that in that case, great.
Yeah.
One just comment about the landing screen before you've logged in. I don't actually think there's going to be, I mean, I don't have in mind any content that will actually go there. So I don't think we actually need, like, if you're not logged in, you should immediately see the login screen.
All right.
For now, there's nothing we're going to be showing on sort of like a home page, but if you're not logged in right now. For now, you have to be logged in to do everything.
So do you suggest that our index page basically be our login page?
Yeah, or you can redirect to it for now or whatever. But yeah, the index page should be the login page.
All right.
So can you guys give an update on, let's see, so where is this hosted? Is this soon going to be hosted somewhere where people can see the latest updates?
Yes, currently it is hosted on QA dot open concept OCL client openmrs.org. But basically the server is not working as it is expected, because like going to the dashboard, like you find a not found page. I'll try liaise with the infrastructure team and find out what is not going well. But basically, it will be deployed on the QA servers in the OCL OpenMRS org infrastructure.
Okay.
So when it is, working, can you just post that link in the OpenMRS talk where you are currently updating the ticket status and everything else, so that we can go and check the things, how they work, and how to go about it.
Pardon, I didn't get you.
So once that link starts working, once it is fixed, can you post that link, QA link, in the OpenMRS talk?
Yeah, sure. We'll keep the community updated.
Yeah. Thank you.
So if we do not have
Mic check.
yes.
I have a question. Oh, thank you very much, Waweru, for the demo and everyone for their feedback. I have a question to Darius. On the first page, the landing page, he was like, we don't need any content, but I was wondering, don't some users need to know what OCL is all about? Isn't that somehow necessary?
Yes. Well, yes, we will certainly have. I guess we can have some description about it. I could imagine having that on the login screen as well. I guess we can have some description, but probably not that long of one. So I guess I'd say for now, the landing page can be the login screen, and we can think about what exactly we are going to document there. Conceivably, in a future version, we might even show like there are 17 public dictionaries from these organizations or something like that. We could do, there's some stuff that might eventually go there, but it's just for now. For like the early adopters and for the MVP, there's no need. The people who are going to try this out early already know what it's for.
Okay, thank you. Then maybe something else is an update on the authentication. So as we are talking on talk, me and the team, we think about it and we saw the long-term solution we could do for the login, as Waweru mentioned sometime, is to create an endpoint that will allow the username and the password. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you've looked into that? Or rather, sorry. So I would expect that Django has some built-in mechanism for that we might just need to enable or something in the OCL server, but maybe we need to create our own endpoint. So I guess someone needs to research that. Someone who knows something about Python and Django.
Yeah, sure. In the in the priority chart, do we put that in the next sprint, or can we work on other tasks as we look into the authentication? Then you can push it through either the third or fourth sprint.
I think that anything that's going to require server-side code changes to OCL, we should try to at least spike on it early, so that we can, if we need to make any proposed changes that might require any sort of discussion, that at least we know we can get those discussions started early. So I would suggest at least doing a research spike on it in the next sprint, yes. Or even, I mean, depending on, maybe it turns out you can implement the whole feature. But I guess I would expect that potentially things that involve changing the OCL server code base might require extra review, because that application is already live and being used in used in production in several countries.
Yeah, sure. Because basically the most realistic approach we saw it, which was a bit dangerous, was like creating, if we were to create a totally different token for the user to log in. So like they will have two tokens, the one generated by OCL when they are created as members, and the one that they get when they are logged in, and they will use the login token to be able to carry out all the activities in the endpoint, just as they will be able to do with the traditional OCL token. And that will make sure that both users are not affected, both the current users and the new users who are on the platform.
Yeah, that sounds right. I mean, that sounds fine, that when you log in, you would get a time-limited token that's just for this login. And then that other token that's already in OCL is kind of an API token that really is sort of should be for advanced users to do things with the API, I guess. But I think even enabling people to log into the REST API with username and password, we at least need to get the owners of that code base to agree. I mean, I'm sure they'll agree, but we need to like do a pull request and things like that.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Oh, so basically on this sprint, we've had a team of 5. That is I myself, Hadija Champere, Emmanuel, Shakira, and Christopher, with Daniel as our TTL. And basically, I'd like them to point out what went well for them, what could have been done better, and how they could improve that in the coming sprints. It does not have to be in any order, like anybody who was something to contribute.
Mic check. Mic check. Hello everyone. Thanks for coming to the demo call. Yeah. What went well in the sprint? For the most part, most of our PRs were matched. Were able to set up, do the login, and then the dashboard and the PRs were matched, which is something great. The communication throughout the team, like to the TTL and the PO and the different team members, the communication was really good. That also went well. What didn't go well was, at times, like for one individual to do their task, they had to wait on another person on the team to finish their task. And that didn't go well, because the estimated time we had taken to finish the tasks, we weren't able to accomplish it as earlier suggested. Then what could be improved could be maybe time management, like in terms of working on the various tasks. Yes, that is it from me.
Mic check.
Check.
So my name is Christopher. Okay, so what went well in this sprint? So what went well in this sprint was the fact that we were able to set up, like, to do the priority setup tasks tickets that would enable us have the agile process running swiftly rather than having to wait for another person to first finish that task, and then we have all that backlog, and in case someone is delaying, so at least that's out of our way for now. Another thing that went well is that at least we're able to come up and actually we're able to find a solution, a workaround, a temporary solution to the login problem that actually quite delayed us for some time. So what did not go well? The fact that this was okay, like it being an like a new sprint, and then figuring out the priority, like figuring out all the tasks in order. So the time that was taken, so basically time management did not go well for me. And what could be improved in the next sprint, I would say I do agree with the login page, at least, since if we have no content on the welcome on the index page, we could then have basically just a login page as the welcome page, and then we could improve from there. Yeah, I guess that's all.
Anything from Daniel?
Yeah, I would love to hear something from Emma. Emmanuel.
Okay. I check.
Check.
So thank you all for joining us today. And I actually joined late, and since then I've been trying to really understand what the team is working on, and I've been also assisting the best of my knowledge, and I have also understood the tasks, and I hope to pick up more task sprints. My check.
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 Okay. From me.
All right, all right, all right.
Mic check.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Oh, so
Check.
the rituals I would have, I would add on what my teammates have said. I like the fact that there were good team dynamics for this first sprint, and I loved it that most of the tickets and pairers were merged. And then personally, I learned a lot after being challenged by the authentication, syncing with many people. I learned a lot. I liked that. Also, there was reliability from both ends, the developers and the TTL and the PO. In case there was any need, it was easy to reach out to them and they respond. So that went well. What didn't go well is that estimations were challenging. Would estimate to do like for 2 days and it takes 4 days, and that is what could be improved.
All right. I think if we do not have anything else from Darius.
So I would, let's see. So my feedback actually would be, I would expect you all to reach out to me proactively more often, asking questions like how to prioritize something, if it's okay to change the scope of some ticket, and things like that. Actually, you can imagine that I'm the product owner who works for the client that you're, hired to deliver this project for, and so my role is my motivation is to get the version of this that I want built as quickly as possible, and thus my role is to give you as much feedback as possible. So I would actually like to be consulted more often, and or updated more regularly just about what's in progress, and also to help with the prioritization of things as well. So like, for example, we might talk now a little bit about what are the tickets that are in the next iteration. I assume that you all know what you mean by improved time management. It's not clear to me what that means in an actionable sense about what to do differently, but if you all know what that means, then that's fine. That's good.
All right. Thank you. I think we can officially call this demo off.
Yeah, before we close, Ellen, do you have something that you would like to say? Or?
Yeah, so I appreciate the team. It's very nice to actually see names and faces and know that this project is underway. I will certainly be a very grateful user of the software, and we'll try to follow along. A lot of the details that you covered today were great, but I'm looking forward to actually, when we get closer to using this, that's when it's going to get very exciting for me. But thank you.
Welcome.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, I also wanted to say that what has gone well is the fact that you guys have made some progress, despite the fact that you're just starting on this. Progress enough to show us something that is working. I want to commend you for that. Thank you very much. And Josephat, you've done a very good job to lead the sprint, the communications and stuff like that. Yeah, though there was something missing in terms of the announcement of the this meeting and the Hangout link, but I think I hadn't sent you a link to give you tips on how to prepare this well. But now that I've given it to you, so hopefully next time it will serve better. Yes, you sent me a private email as a reminder, but I pretended as if I never saw that because I wanted to behave like the rest of the community and make sure that the entire community is aware of what's going on. And just in case anybody wants to join, they should be able to jump on the call. So that next time, if any of you doesn't have what to do, please get back to me as soon as possible, and I'll make sure you get some work done. Otherwise, thank you so much for the work you're doing, and please keep up the great work.
Thank you.
Yeah, I also wanted to pass on some comments. The person who was working on setting up the Docker container for this, just wanted to say that Cynthia was very excited and very happy about the work that you did in regards to that. That was via help desk, so I wanted to say thank you for that too. That was great.
Thank you, Daniel, for being an awesome TTL for the sprint. Keep being as awesome as you are. From me and the sprint, it has been a pleasure leading this sprint, not only from a perspective of merging pull requests, but also from a management perspective. I've actually learned I've actually learned more than one thing that I'd actually improve on in the next coming sprints. I think apart from being left behind with the team at Darius and Daniel for the prioritization of the next tickets for the next sprint, we can call this demo off.
So do we plan to have the sprint kickoff meeting on Monday?
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Are you going to run a doodle poll for people to choose their preferred time, or?
Can we do the sprint planning on Monday afternoon? Then we can do the doodle today.
I mean, that's as in the doodle poll is for people to actually choose the times they'll find convenient to join the planning meeting.
I can do the same time slot as this call was supposed to start on Monday.
Because I'm thinking, if at all we do a doodle on Monday and Tuesday, it might actually delay our sprint time. That is
no. What I meant was, if you run the doodle poll now, people should be able to select, and by Monday morning, you actually know the preferred time so that you can announce on Monday morning when we have this.
Yeah, sure, that works.
You could even do it over the weekend. You don't have to wait for Monday, because if you do it now, I'm sure everyone who's here will just go and choose a date and time, and then over the weekend you should be able to post out an announcement of when we shall have this.
The other question is, who are your required attendees for this? Because actually the only time slot I can reasonably do is the same time slot as this call started. Otherwise, I could do 3 hours later, which is probably way too late for you all. Maybe we can just say, assuming that works for the rest of the team who would be involved in this, can we just set that time?
It works for me.
Me too.
Myself too. I'd actually prefer that same time, like right now on Monday. That is when we just started this call.
Yeah, so like an hour ago on plus several days.
Yeah,
it's okay with me too.
Yeah, time is okay with me.
Please send a calendar invite for that or something.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, thank you.
Given that Emmanuel has been a supportive member of this sprint, I'd like to recommend him as the sprint lead for the coming sprint. And probably he can show us some of his secret magical skills that he got.
That's if he accepts the recommendation.
Sure.
But if he feels like it's a bit too early for him since he joined in the middle of the sprint, that's still fine. In case somebody else wants to take this up, we still have more sprints to come.
Exactly. I feel it's a bit too early, so I think someone else should take up that position. Thank you.
So anybody on the team who feels comfortable around taking up the role?
I feel Hadija can do that very well.
Sure. I second you.
I agree.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
I will get mentorship from Waweru, no problem.
Excellent.
So guys, thank you for attending our Sprint 1 demo call. We hope to keep you updated on this similar calls like this, and each and every thing that happens in the OpenMRS OCL. Thank you.
Thanks to everyone, and please remember to share this recording on Talk.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Nice weekend.